Hey all of you, hope you guys are great. So in the last video we have done some advanced setting in our Postman. So if you haven't watched that video, must tell you to watch. In that you will learn that how you have to do the advanced configuration in your Postman, which will save your life. Okay, so now we're going to start working on the Auth Controller. So this is where we left last time coding, and it's looked pretty fine to me. So these are the instant method we have created, the function we have created for the change password. If you come here and if you go to this, if we go to the router, inside the NFT router, here we have to build the logic. So right now you can see that this is the method we have, the delete router we have, where we are allowing the user to delete the NFT. But you can't allow anyone to delete the NFT. You have to set the role. And in our API, we're going to set the role. So we'll have multiple roles, like we'll have a creator, user, guide, or admin. Okay, so only admin or guide, they going to be allowed to delete any NFT, not the user. So that's the method we're going to build, and we're going to attach in this delete router. So here we are calling this NFT control.delete function, but here we have to attach this function. So let's come here we have to come here. If you come down here you will find that we have this NFT controller and we have the auth controller, and in that auth controller we have built the entire functionality like protect, and we're going to build this admin functionality also in the same file. So simply grab this one and come here. If you can see, this is the protect middleware we have created, where we are checking whether the user is logged in to the application or not. Okay, so this is the protect method we have come here, and that's what we're going to attach first here. So we'll say auth.protect. So this is the protect middleware, and here we're going to build one more middleware. We haven't written any code for that, but let me write that middleware for you. So it's a auth controller, and this middleware we're going to call restrict to, and in that we have to assign the role, like who can have the access to deleting the NFT. So I will go with 2 users. You can set multiple. So I will go with admin, and I will go with the other one is going to be the guide. Okay, I just call this one, what you can call whatever you want. So admin and guide, they can only allow to delete the NFTs. So this is the second middleware, and you can see that our application is got crashed because this method we have not built. Okay, and now before we start writing the entire functionality for the restrict to, we have to add this field in our user model, because we don't have any model to store the data of the users, with what kind of user he or she is, whether he is a normal user or admin or a guide. Okay, so we have to do the changes in our user model. So click on this user model, and here we have to build the changes. So right now you can see we have different models: email, password, name, photo. So we have to build the role as well. So let's come here we'll say role, and it's going to be an object type. In that we have to define the type is going to be a string, and here we're going to take an enum, because one user will have a different role. Okay, so we'll have different properties. So we'll say enum. First thing is going to be, let's say, user. Second one will have creator role. The third will have the admin role, and the fourth one will have the guide. So only guide and admin have the access to delete any data, not the user, not the creator. And we're going to set the default is to the, let's say by default is the user. So right now we are going with this approach. Every single user who will create account, he become the user. And if you want to assign an admin or a guide, so you can build a separate URL, and you can simply allow user to log in from there, and they can become an admin or guide. Or you can simply log into your database, and from there you can do the changes. Okay, but that's the part of the letter. Okay, so just focus what we are doing here. So that's the role we have. Now come back to the auth controller, and here we're going to build the entire logic. So before we do that, I see we are getting still error. So here I forgot to add the comma, so provide the comma, and now it's look good. If you comment that, you can see here we save it, and here you can see we have the error. It says password, so I forgot to provide this comma. So come here, and here I have to provide this comma. You can see if you don't provide the comma, you will have this error, and that's called development. You can see the server is running fine, everything's looking good to me, no more problem. And if you come back to the Postman, and right now you can see I have these 2 users in our database, and each of these users have this role because I was testing. So at that time I created these users. But let me delete it, and let me show you from the fresh. So if I refresh, I can see this is one more I have deleted. So right now I don't have any data in my database regarding the users. So let's come here, if I go to this, so user sign in, because I have obviously have to create a user because right now we don't have anything. So here we're going to do it, and if I simply call this without assigning a role, it will take the default. So if you make a request, you can see this is the output we got. So we have created the user, and by default we set the behavior to user. This is the entire data we have created. If you come back, refresh it, and you can see here we have that user. The role is user. Now I will come here, and now I'm going to assign an admin. Okay, so what I will do, I will come here, I will say role, and here I will say admin. You can call it guide, it's totally up to you. So admin, and if you make a request, you can see here. So okay, I have to change my email ID, so I will call simply admin, and make a request. And this is the user I have created, and this time this user has the role of admin, and he has the power to delete any data from the database. So let's come here. If you refresh here, you can see we have this data back here. Looks fine to me. Now let's come here. What I can do, everything looks good to me, no more problem we have here. Come back to the Auth Controller, and this is the functionality we have to build. So it's crash, and here these two data we are passing in this, and here I think I've misspelled, so it's type E, restrict to. And now we have to build this middleware function. Simply copy that one, come back to the Auth Controller, bring this terminal down, and that looks pretty fine to me. So first we'll run this protect, then it will run this restrict, and after that user will able to delete this NFT. This thus looks pretty fine, awesome. Now we can come here and we'll say export restrict to, and we're going to deconstruct, because you can see in restrict we are passing the admin and the role. So we have to deconstruct that. We'll say roles, and inside that we're going to call another function. So we'll say return, and we're going to pass this request, response, and next. And can you guess from where we are getting this request object? Because this request object will have all the data about the user, and that's what we have passed in the protect. Because first product will run, product middleware will run, then the restrict, then the at the end the delete NFT. And here we're going to simply say if the role dot include, because this role, the deconstruction will come in the form of array. Okay, the two data we have passed in our strict, it will be in the form of array, and we have a beautiful method called includes in array, and that's what we can utilize it. So it will say if role dot includes request dot user dot role. Okay, because in role we have the data about the user role. And if I come here, you can see here we have defined the role. If I come here, and that's the role we are checking here, and here you can see here we are passing the entire data, and this request dot user has all the data including the roles, and that's what we are checking here, protect. That looks fine to me. So if the role of the user, if it's not matched with the admin or a guide, then we want to display this error message. Inside that we're going to say you have no access to delete NFT, and we have this 403 method, and we're going to call this next. Hope this entire thing makes sense to all of you guys what we did. And if you come here, and here you can see these are the two users we have created, and now we're going to simply take the first user, the user normal user, and this is the admin we have. So I'm going to take the first user which has role of user, so he can't delete NFT. So simply grab the email ID because we have to log in. So let's come here, and first we have to go to this, come here, go to where it is here, delete. So this is the delete router we have, and we can come here, and in the delete router you can see this is the data we have defined. So here we have defined the bear token, make sure to define this, and here we have defined the JWT. We have the payload, and here we can simply delete the NFT. So to delete the NFT we need the ID for that particular NFT. So what we can do, we can come here, first thing we have to log in because we have to update our JWT. So provide this normal user, and I can simply set this request, and here you can see this is the token and the status is success. So our JWT is updated, and this is the normal user we have, and now we need an address ID of a particular NFT, and we need, let's scroll all the way down, and we need an address. So simply grab this address, and we'll come back to the delete NFT, and here we're going to pass the ID of that NFT. And if you make a request, you will get an error message. So this is the error message we have defined, you have not access to delete NFT, and this is the error code 403, which is forbidden, which is not allowed. So our error is working fine. You can see this entire thing is working fine. If you come back here, and this is the exact error message and the code we have defined here. Hope you guys have got the idea that how this entire thing is working. So it looks pretty fine to me. Now let's come here, and this time I'll come back to the database, and I'm going to take the actual admin to delete the NFT. So this is the second user. We have the admin, so we need the address, email address. Simply grab that one, come back here, come back to the postman, and now we have to log in first. So here we have to change the email. The password is same for all the users and send the request. So we are log into the applications, and this is the admin, and now we want to delete it. So here we can come. If you make a request on get, you can see right now we have 7 NFT, and now we have to delete this NFT. Okay, if you make a request, here you can see, and here you can see we have successfully deleted the NFT. If you come here, if you send the request, you can see right now we have the 6 NFT because we have deleted the last one. I believe these things are making sense to all of you guys. This is how we can protect and allow access as an admin, as a user. Okay, so this looks pretty fine to me. This is the pretty simple function, but it's really powerful. So let's come here, let's recap what we are doing. So first we are assigning the roles. So admin and guide, they can only delete NFT, delete data in our database. So first it will run this protect function. It will check whether the user is logged into the application or not. Once it log in, then it will run for this check whether the admin or guide, then it will delete the NFT. And in that we are checking for this role. So this is the data we are passing. We are simply deconstructing that, and inside that we are running this function, and this request, response, and next we have this variable request object. Request will have all the data about the user, and we are checking for that conditions. We are matching the roles, and then here we are passing that, and on the base of that we are executing the entire things. Okay, so these are the different roles we have provided. Close this one, close this one, and that looks fine to me. And that's the only thing I want to cover right now in this video. Hope this entire thing makes sense to all of you. It's better to understand, pause the video, rewatch the video to understand that how we are assigning user role and how we are building condition to have access to delete data. So make sure to watch one more time and understand everything. With that, let's move to the next video.